Now, the actual process of how we do this. So in the first session, I would first ask the client to tell me what would they like to work with, or what brings them to me. Clear till here?
Yeah.
Now, when I ask this question, there are a couple of possibilities. There is either a client who has already come with a clear understanding of what their problem is. And the second is that the client gets into a story. So as a client, what brings you to me? And the client is like, my partner doesn't listen to me, doesn't understand me. I'm looking for what problem chal rahi hai. And then there is like a monologue that's happening on part of the client. Have you ever come across situations like this in relationships?
Most of the times.
Most of the times. Brilliant. Now, the way to work with these two, at least the starting point is different. So when a client comes to you with in a situation where they are getting into a long story, what would you need to do? Remember, the eventual objective of the session is to build confidence, help them define their problem, and help them define their expected outcome. Yes.
Yes.
So what would you need to do with the client when the client gets into a story?
Start asking specific questions.
First, help the client to have internal focus.
So the story can have, so one, the story could be driven by emotions. What I mean by this is while the client is describing the story, they are getting overwhelmed by the emotion. Or the client is going into driven by data. Data is they're trying to explain more to you. It's not that they're really getting into an emotional breakdown, but they're just trying to give you like as many examples and as many things that have happened. And you can have clients coming at both places. Some clients are very emotional while they're talking, they actually break down. And some will, it's almost like a, for the lack of any other word, a rehearsed narration that they've given to so many people that now when they sit in front of you, they're on an autopilot giving you the entire narration again. Have you come across both kinds of clients?
Yeah.
Yes, no?
Mm-hmm.
Or which type of clients have you come across more in terms of storytelling? Even driven by emotions or driven by data?
By data.
Data.
So when the client is driven by data, then you need to, at some place, ask them to summarize. So here you have, there is no problem with you interrupting the client per se. Well, as long as you've given them initially 15 minutes, so give them 15-20 minutes to speak and then ask them to summarize. But if the client is driven by emotions, they need to be heard. It's not that they're looking for an outcome or anything right now, they just need someone to be able to hear them out because they're literally overwhelmed by emotions. If that is the case, allow the client to vent out. But the information they are giving you during this session, while they are venting out, is not really going to be useful for you. This is an exaggerated information the client is giving you because they are in an emotional state which is overwhelmed. Clear till here?
Okay.
Yes.
So some examples are because
the
generally they are and they are correct.
Tripti वापस से बोलेंगे, सॉरी आपकी आवाज ब्रेक हो गई.
हाँ, so I was saying कि generally वो कुछ बता रहे होते हैं and फिर end में रोने लगते हैं. So क्या कर?
हाँ, so अगर रोने लगते हैं then they're still driven by emotions.
Okay.
Then let them speak, let them cry, give them a tissue paper, let them continue. Once you are reaching the end of the session, okay, so let's say your session is around 45 minutes. Okay, allow the client to vent out, give them around 30 minutes to 40 minutes. Okay, this is unless the client stops पहले खुद ही कि अब इससे ज्यादा कुछ है नहीं बताने के लिए. But if the client is going on and on, then let them have that 30-40 minutes so that they can talk to you, so that they can vent out completely. And then once you're reaching the end of the session, again ask them to summarize.
जब वो रोने लग गया,
जब वो रोने लग गए, रोने के बाद उनको आपने उनको टिश्यू पेपर दे दिया, वो थोड़ी देर रोने के बाद वापस से सेटल हुए.
ओके, फिर
सेटल हुए उसके बाद, सो बिफोर वी गो अहेड, कैन यू प्लीज समराइज दिस फॉर मी? आपने जो मुझे बोला है 2 या 3 लाइन में आप समराइज कर सकते हैं क्या?
Okay. And data you mean, what do you mean by data?
Data is like the client is not getting into a breakdown, emotional breakdown. They're like, पता है इसके पहले ऐसा हुआ था, उसके पहले वैसा हुआ था, फिर उन्होंने ऐसा भी बोला था, फिर उसने ऐसा भी किया था, फिर मेरे दोस्तों ने मुझे ऐसा बोला, फिर so there is a lot of information they are giving, but it's not really where they are emotionally in connect with that information. It's more intellectual information that they are giving you.
Okay. Right.
Is this clear for all of you?
So the question,
Hmm.
if we are asking them to summarize after an emotional outbreak, wouldn't it seem like we weren't listening, or could it seem a little insensitive? Like instead, if we would summarize it for them and help them feel heard, wouldn't that be a better option?
The problem with you summarizing it for them is that one, you will summarize it in your language, which they may not resonate with, and they may feel that you don't understand them, because the way language works, the same word can mean different things for different people.
Right.
So unless you're summarizing exactly using their words, which is unlikely, because in summary there would be some addition, some subtraction that will take place, which is one. And second, when you are summarizing, there is a chance that you may give them a bias about something that you don't want to. In the sense, many times when therapists summarize it, clients have a feeling that my therapist agrees with me, and that feeling is not my therapist understands me is different from my therapist agrees with me. Right? And that distinction is very, very important. Now, as far as you asking the client, it just depends on how you ask the client. So, for example, with all the clients that I have worked with, I've never had a situation where a client has felt that I have not listened to them, because when they're talking, I'm listening to them, I'm nodding my head, I'm there with them, right? So it's not that you are listening. So when I said that the information they're giving you is not relevant, does not mean that you're not listening to them, but you know that that information would not interfere with your therapy. There you are listening to them like you will listen to any person in your life who's coming and sharing a experience that they've gone through, which is a painful experience. Okay. Now, in the end, when I'm asking to summarize, the way to say is, I understand that you've shared a lot of things with me, and there's been a lot of information that you've given me. Also, you've gone through a lot of emotions in the entire process. So now, before we go ahead, so that I and you can understand things clearly, would you be able to summarize it in few lines, in your own words? So the moment you say in your own words, then the client doesn't take it as if you were not listening, because you can't summarize it in their words.
Right.
Right? So that's the way to work with that. Is this clear?
Yes, it is.
For all of you?
Okay. Sir, one question. Like we say कि 30 minutes we give to the client. And generally like client speak minutes and then becomes quiet. And that is the time I have the dilemma आगे कुछ बोलूं. कई बार बोलती हूँ उसी समय वो बोल देता है फिर से आगे. So how much to wait and how much to stop and when to interrupt, ये थोड़ा सा मेरे लिए confusing होता है.
Sure. So the idea is, if the client, as I said, maximum give the client 30 to 40 minutes. Okay. Now let's say after 10 minutes the client stops. And you are not sure whether to speak or whether to let them have some time. Give them a couple of minutes. Now, how do you give them a couple of minutes? Because it can be very uncomfortable for the therapist, but the therapist doesn't know what to do for the couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're giving them a couple of minutes, have a glass of water, you sip a glass of water, then pour a glass of water into a glass and hand it over to them. So उसमें 1-1.5 minute निकल जाता है. So what you're doing is you're having placeholders which are giving the client time to think and decide whether they want to share more or you can come in. And what I do is, if the client has stopped, then I would, then once I've given them a glass of water and so on, I'll ask them, is there anything else that you would like to add to this?
Okay. Yeah, that's
If
what
they
I
have, then they would end up saying, if they say, nahi, this is probably this is all that I wanted to tell you. So I would say, all right, so now that you've told me all of these things, would you be able to summarize this in your own words? In maybe 3 or 4 lines. Clear?
Right.
Now, why is that summary important? Because the client has said too many things and some of the things the client also knows is exaggerated. तो बहुत सी बार होगा एक सेशन में क्लाइंट आपके सामने आके बहुत रोएंगे, बहुत मतलब दे विल accuse and abuse their partner like left, right and center. And then in the next session they'll come and tell you मतलब इतना बुरा भी नहीं है जितना मैंने बोला था, वो मैं थोड़ा भावनाओं में I was thrown up. Right? So you can't take that literally when the client is in a highly emotionally charged state. Is this clear till here?
Yes.
So where were we?
So
exaggeration ज़्यादा यानी कम हो जाते हैं.
मुग्धा वापस से बोलेंगे प्लीज.
समरी में बहुत ज्यादा जो exaggerated चीजें हैं वो कम हो जाती हैं.
Correct. And the client is able to give you that summary in 3 or 4 lines. So आपके दिमाग में भी for a therapist it's easier to make a note of it कि हम किसके ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं. नहीं तो client की वो 30 मिनट की स्टोरी में इतना content होता है that you don't know where does the client want to focus on, because while they're talking about the relationship, they bring in the in-laws, they bring in the parents, they bring in their past relationships, they bring in the concerns that they have about future. So it becomes such a broad story that you don't know where you want to focus. Right? So it's far more easier to ask the client, can you summarize this? So you know where is the client focusing primarily. Now, once the client is summarized, we actually have a format in which we ask the client to define a problem. Those of you who were there in the anxiety workshop or have been there with other workshops that we have done, you would know this format.
Yeah.
Now, why this format?
To make the objective clear.
So this is like summary of the summary. In any problem, there are 3 components. There is a feeling that is bothering the client. That feeling is about something, and it gets triggered at certain specific times. So once you ask the client to define the problem in these 3 components, you actually have everything you need to know about the problem. And this is not just related to relationship counseling. This is standard across all problems that you will work with. Any problem that the client brings to you as these three components.
So is this antecedent behavior and consequences?
Is this?
Is this the ABC analysis, antecedent behavior and consequences?
It is not just ABC. So a part of it is ABC because you do find the activating event, which is when. Okay. You also find the C, which is the feeling. But B is a specific thing that we are asking for. So we are dividing A, the activating event, into two parts. When does it happen and about what it is. Okay. And here we are not really looking at what the thought processes of the clients are. That we will come to later on. But this becomes the first step towards it. See, for us, the reason for this is before we get into any more deeper work with the client, I need to understand what are the components of the problem as per the client. Right? And things that the client can tell me, things that I don't have to really, for example, when we ask about thoughts and so on, at times you have to ask the client what will be the thought and so on. That's more of deep diving into the problem. This is like the surface level problem that we are trying to understand first. Can we define the surface level problem completely? Is that clear for all of us?
Yes.
Perfect. Now, in the first session, depending upon how much time do I have. For example, if the client was driven by emotions, then I would not have much time. I would just be able to do this much. Right? But if the client was driven by data and I was able to cut them short after 15 minutes, then I have more time with me. I will also give the client clarity about how we work, because that's how confidence building happens. Okay? Ideally, even with the driven by emotions client, I would want to give them clarity. But it just depends on whether by the end of the session, the client is in a mental state to seek clarity or not. Otherwise, I would begin the second session with that clarity. Also, with this client, the one who is driven by emotions, because you have heard them out and you have helped them define the problem. For many of them, this itself is a major confidence building tool. Okay? But for the client who is driven by that data, because they don't feel, because they are not emotionally driven right now, even if you try to understand them, that doesn't give them the confidence. So you need to work with them at because they're giving you problems at an intellectual level. You need to build confidence also at an intellectual level. Right? So, yes. Clear till here?